know that I have been just gone. I went through a little bit of stuff, and this time it was a little bit unexpected. Actually, quite a bit expected. I went to the DICE Awards, and what happened was when I got back, I had this horrible sinus infection that I couldn't kick. I eventually did kick it in time for the Final Fantasy Countdown to Launch stream, Final Fantasy Rebirth, in case you didn't know, it's out. And I had to do that gig, still coming down from being sick. And by the time this week happened, I had the show, I had a bunch of other stuff that I had to attend, so it just took a long time for me to get to making a video, and I almost didn't make a video today, which is crazy to me. Why am I like this? But I'm glad that I finally got to sit down, and like the sun's already setting, so this might make the video look completely different from start to finish, but it's okay. I'm here, I'm doing the video, we're gonna do my Q&A, and then I also have some B-roll to show you from my time working with Square Enix on the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Countdown to Launch livestream, which was a very cool opportunity for me. I got to meet all the voice actors from the game, we gave away some cool stuff, it was just a blast. Anyways, you'll get to see the behind the scenes of that right after I do some quick Q&A. I'm just gonna keep this one light, because I'm getting back into the flow now after having been completely down for the count. It was crazy, you guys. It was crazy. Somebody asked what's my favorite Quebecois curse word. It's tabarnak golis. So you guys can look up what that is. It just means God dang it, Christ, Jesus Christ, or something along those lines. What's your favorite cereal? I do have a favorite cereal. It's called Life cereal. I have not eaten a bowl of cereal in a very long time because dairy, grains in the morning don't really, I just try not to include that in my diet, and I know it's not necessarily that healthy of a breakfast. So I just never have cereal at my house, and I tend to, veer away from eating that cereal because for a long time that's really all I ate. I loved eating cereal. It was one of the few good tasting foods that I had growing up because my parents always tried to make us eat healthy. I love cereal, period. I love Fruity Loops. I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'm sure there's Corn Flakes, Honey Nut Cheerios, all the big ones. Any sort of cereal, truly. I love, and I will eat it. But I try not to have it around the house. So when I do, if I do try to, indulge in some cereal, it usually is Life cereal, just the regular kind. It's my favorite. Is 30 too old to begin trying to get into games journalism? I don't think it's too old. No, I don't think any career change is too old, truly. I think that if you're passionate about something and it's what you want to pursue, especially 30. I mean, 30 people love 30-year-olds because the expectation is that they have their life together. So, it makes for a good employee in my mind. But I do think that if you're debating whether 30 is too old, it's definitely not. It's definitely not. Just go after your dreams. I think you could be any age to pursue a new career path or life path. I grew up with folks around me who oftentimes would say, it's too late for me, I can't do it, it's too late for me to do this, to make such a big change in my life. And I was as a kid, I didn't agree with that. I thought, life is too short. You have one life to live, and so there's no wrong time to start something. Doesn't matter your age. I know folks who picked up playing the piano at 60 and are really good at it. So I feel like that's something that you should just keep in the back of your head if you're ever questioning whether you're too old for something. You're never too old for really anything. How's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth so far? I'm going to wait for a PC release since I don't own a PS5. It's absolutely great. If you played Remake and loved that, you're gonna love Rebirth. I think that it's incredibly beautiful. The characters, obviously, they're so hot, they're so fun. And especially if you're a Final Fantasy VII fan, like the fan of the OG game that came out on PlayStation 1, you should definitely play Rebirth then. It's those types of games that really takes you through this whole adventure journey. You're carried through by the characters, the storylines, and the fighting's really fun too. And it's not your typical turn-based video game. So if you're just action adventure all the way through, this is the game for you. I'm loving it. I think it's definitely worth it. You don't necessarily have to play it right away. If you're waiting for the PC version, great. If you have a PlayStation 5 and can play it now, do that too. I think it's totally worth it. It's so much game content for the buck, the money that you spend. So definitely check it out. And I'm not just saying that because I hosted the countdown to launch Rebirth. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth countdown to launch live stream. Do you imagine yourself being a mom? I think I answered this recently in another video, but yes, I do. I do see myself being a mom. I think I've gone through a lot of therapy. My husband Kyle has gone through a lot of therapy. We've done couples therapy, and it's so helpful, and it's been very it's just been very rewarding, and I think that I'm ready now to have kids as opposed to when I was much younger and in my 20s. It's just been on my mind these past few years, and so yeah, I've grown into the idea, and I have really just cherished that idea that one day I would be a mom, and I'm excited for it. I don't know when it's going to happen, no predictions on that whole thing, but I do see myself raising some kids, and I think I am ready to go about doing that in this world, and share my wisdom, share everything that I've learned throughout my life, and nurture a kid into becoming a full-grown, awesome adult, hopefully. I think I'd ideally want 1 or 2 kids. 2 probably is the max, although I know Kyle wants 3, but anyways. Would I rather be actor or director? I think I'd rather be both. I think both appeal to me. I have projects that I think I'd be better at directing, and then I see myself doing acting for other people's projects. So I think for me, when it comes to directing, it's these ideas that I've had in my head, these stories I wanted to tell for a very long time, which is why I'm working on my short film, wrote, and am also directing. That's why I think where the project, wherever I fit in the project, that's kind of what I want to do. I love being a part of the storytelling projects, whether that's video games, whether that's movies, television, it doesn't matter, digital media, YouTube. I think that those things are, I can do both, and I think I'm agile in both careers. So it's really dependent on what ends up coming my way, what opportunities present themselves. And then for the directing stuff, I kind of just will make my own stuff and hope that you guys will watch it and support it along the way. The first video game I ever played was Donkey Kong Country on the SNES. Then went on to Mario Brothers, the original. And then my first game that I played on my very first console was Crash Bandicoot, which was my very first console that I owned, was PlayStation 1. Oh, and then I did play a lot of Nintendo 64 on my friend's Nintendo 64. I played Mario 64. So my exposure to Nintendo games was very limited growing up because I always had PlayStation 1, 2, and never really diverted from that until I got a 3DS. And then I started getting the Nintendo consoles from that point on. So I went Wii U. Oh, I did have the Wii at a point. But it was Wii U that I personally owned. Then I went on to have the 3DS, the Nintendo Switch. And yeah, that's basically what happened. Is there a giveaway in the future? Good question. There's a giveaway that I am planning for for This Week in Gaming, for the podcast. So be sure to click below, tune in every week. I'm going to announce it at some point too on my social platforms. So there is going to be a giveaway. Ooh, I just noticed that I look a lot different because the sun's been setting. In any case, yes, there will be a giveaway on This Week in Gaming, the podcast show that I created and host for iHeartRadio. What are your thoughts on fame? My thoughts on fame have always evolved and changed over the years, but I think these days it's very interesting because the democratization of fame has happened. Anyone can be famous. Everyone has access to an audience, can gain access to a very wide audience too, can go viral, can grow an audience. It isn't as gate-kept as it once was. I think fame has just become more diluted and less important, but it is beneficial to the individual if they do have some version of fame, some form of it, to grow and to have a career and to make a living. So, which is, pretty much what ended up happening to me, because I was able to foster an audience through my work at IGN and through my work in the gaming space. So I think fame has just become a new tool because it is accessible to everybody. It used to be this coveted thing that very few people had access to and was definitely more difficult to acquire. I think it's just become another facet of someone's life. You know, if that's something that they aspire to, there are more avenues and more opportunities than ever to be able to get it. And whether it's something that I like, you know, having attention of that sort, I think it is something that I find useful more than I enjoy. You know, I wish that I could do what I do and have money flowing, but it does, you know, fame and having an audience, I guess I just associate fame with having an audience, does equate to how much money you can make in this industry. So it's something that I value in that sense, that it would be beneficial to have more of, but I don't think I put as much value in it as I once did. All right, totally rambled on that question, but it was a good question, so thank you for asking it. And I think I'm gonna leave it here because it's getting really dark and the sun is setting, and I want to also cut to some of the B-roll and some of the behind-the-scenes footage that I recorded while I was shooting the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth countdown to launch stream. I'll leave you guys to it. Have a good rest of your week. I'll see you at some point this week too. New videos dropping soon. All right, bye. So I'm currently in the lobby here. So this studio is actually huge and has even a little cafe. A little cafe right here for goodies. I don't know, they have this. Here, look at that. I don't know if that's for us. Just fruits, some fruits. Yummy. A lot of stuff has been shot here. Let me show you. Oh yeah, I love those commercials. Progressive commercials too. All shot here. Hair and makeup time. Oh my god. We do it. I'm sorry. Oh my god.
Don't show Kenny what happened to his one-way mango.
This is the color she did it.
It's all her.
It's all her.
Now it's a red 13.